Hello everybody, and today I am reviewing the brand new Glossier UltraLips. I have them all in my bag right here. I picked up 4 different shades, mainly for myself, but also because I figured it would be helpful for you guys to see as many shades as possible. So I didn't get the whole line, obviously, because I paid for these myself, but I picked out 4 that I was really intrigued on the colors, but the swatches online were not very helpful because I feel like the description was off from the lip swatch photos for some of the shades. So I kind of just went with my gut and picked up the 4 that I was most interested in, and I tried to pick a good variety, so I'm really excited. I've tried out 2 of these for a few days, so I do have a general review for you guys, and then the other 2 I haven't tried yet, but the formula is the same for all 4, so I have a formula review, but mainly this is going to be a lip swatch video. So before we get into it, I will just mention that if you are interested in these or anything else from Glossier, I have a link down below that will get you 10% off your first purchase. It's not an affiliate link or anything. Anyone can generate that link for their friends or whatever, but if you do use that link, I do get a $10 Glossier credit, which will go towards me getting more lips to swatch for you guys, save up for a future launch so I can get more shades to provide a helpful review for you guys and things like that. So I do really appreciate if you use that link, but it is also helpful to get 10% off if you can. So the 4 shades that I got are Portrait, Trench, Villa, and Vesper. So I will just go through and do a lip swatch of all of these. So it comes in the same box. It comes in this little box. It's in the same size packaging as the Generation G's, but it's just a light pink. And it also is not the same formula at all as the Generation G. So this is an ultra hydrating lip. So the Generation G is more like a matte sheer lip, and this is a very hydrating sheer lip. And to me, the formula feels closest to the M Cosmetics lip cushions, but the lip cushions are a little bit thicker and a little bit more glossy. These are very similar, except I feel like when you apply them, they apply a little bit more sheerly, but they do have a little bit of grip to them while still being very, very comfortable. So they're not sticky or anything like that, but they're not like the Tower 28 lip jellies where it's just a jelly on the lips and it's super slippy. These have a little bit of grip, so I'm not worried about the color moving everywhere, and it does last a good amount of time. It still is like a lip balm, so it's not going to last the longest of time, but I do really like the formula of these because of that grip. I feel like more people will really enjoy these, and they're not super glossy, so they can almost pass as like a shiny lipstick, but I don't know, you'll see in the lip swatches, but they're not super shiny where they look like a lip gloss. They look more like your lips are just nice and hydrated. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch these. So I'm going to start with the shade Trench. This is one that I have used before, but it's like, I think on the website it describes it as like a toffee brown, and you can see here it does look pretty like caramely brown, but on the lips it's a really nice neutral for me. I do have olive undertones, so keep that in mind, but I'm gonna move in a little bit closer and go ahead and give you guys a lip swatch. So that was just going through really sheerly, not applying too much. I'm going to turn down the lighting a little bit, but that was just going through a little bit, the sheerest amount possible. You can build these up though, but as you can tell, it's not too brown on my lips where I feel like it's more like a fall exclusive shade. I feel like this is a really nice neutral shade for me, and I like the depth. It's not too dark, so that's what it looks like. This is Trench, and then I will do a second layer just so you can see. It's really easy to build these up, but you can see the difference kind of. It just intensifies the color a little bit. It's a little bit more hydrating, but you can tell it's not super glossy like a lip gloss, but it still has a nice hydrating look to it. I am using natural lighting, but again, with my new apartment, it's hard to get a bright enough lighting, so I do have to use artificial lighting, but in terms of what you're seeing on camera, this is pretty accurate to how it is in real life. Just the colors are a little bit more bold on camera, but generally this is what it looks like. It's just a nice caramely brownie neutral. I really like the shade. It's a little bit messy, but you know, it's fine. And by the way, Trench is a color that I've been wearing for a while, and this is so far, one that is super easy for me to just slap on without a mirror because it is on the sheerer side. I was expecting this to be a pretty bold brown shade, but it is pretty sheer and I can just swipe it on. But I will say it does have enough pigment where you can actually tell a difference between the shades, and it'll be inclusive towards deeper skin tones who need a little bit more pigment. I feel like with some sheer lip balms on deeper skin, they all kind of look the same, but I feel like especially the deeper shades of these, they do have a good amount of pigment behind them. So this was Trench, and now I'm going to go ahead and swatch the shade Villa, which is actually new to me, so I haven't tried this shade yet. On the website, it's described as like a rose-toned neutral, but on the lip swatch, it looks almost purple, so I was a little bit nervous about it. I also want to show you, because this one is a new one, it has a G imprint right on the top of the lipstick, but I mean, it does rub off after like 2 uses, but this looks like a really good shade for me. I love rosy neutrals, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. Yes, that is my perfect lip shade. That is like a My Lips But Better shade. It's the same sort of depth as Trench, but instead of that brown undertone, it is more of a rose undertone, and I really like that. Yeah, so in the camera, it's appearing like a little bit more vibrant pink, but in real life, it's a little bit more rose. I will cover these. Yeah, so you can't really tell if I cover these up, but that is Villa, and I will go ahead and do a second layer. I really, really like that shade. I think I'll probably get more use out of this rather than Trench, just because, again, it's the same sort of depth, but it is a little bit more rose toned and my lips have a little bit more pink to them. I love that shade. This is Villa. And I will show you, like, the imprint is almost completely gone. You can see it a little bit, but it will go away. It's not very deep. Okay, I'm going to go in with the shade Portrait next. This is one that I've used. It's like a watermelon-y pink. Now on the website, I expected this to be more like a not super bright pink, almost like Tower 28 Coconut, which is like my perfect shade because it's almost like my lip color. It's pretty bright pink, but this one is a little bit more watermelon-y pink, which I think is really fun for summer. So this is just a sheer layer. And again, you can tell with my application that it's sheer enough where I don't have to worry about it getting everywhere, but you can still clearly see that the color is there. So this is a brighter pink. In the camera, you can definitely tell. I still think this is really fun. I don't think necessarily with bright eyeshadow as well, this is the best look, but totally a color that I'm going to get a ton of use out of all summer because I love pinks, if you haven't been able to tell. So I'm going to build this up a little bit more. And there is Portrait. So you can do obviously a little bit sheerer than what I showed you. I will show you by dabbing it off a little bit, but you still can get a really wearable pink, but this is definitely more on the bright side. But in real life, it's not so neon where it's unwearable. Everything Glossier does is going to be within your comfort zone for the most part. So this is, if I just blot it off, you can see it's just gonna look like your lips are a little bit popsicle stained, but it's not gonna look like you're wearing a neon block lipstick. So I think it's a really nice way to have a wearable bright color, and this with just bright pink cheeks and like a shimmery neutral on the eyes is going to be a perfect summer look. So that is Portrait. And last but not least, this shade I'm the most worried about. I took a wild card with this one, but it is the shade Vesper. But on the bottom you can see, almost kind of looks like my nails. It's like a brightish berry color, which is not what my lips look like. And then in the tube, it's almost like a blackberry cranberry color, one that if sheared out can be really pretty, but I'm worried it might be a little bright. So this one is the shade Vesper, and by the way, all of these have the color on the bottom, so you can store them upside down and easily see what you're grabbing for. Here is one coat of Vesper. Yeah, so this is definitely one I'll need a mirror for and is definitely out of my comfort zone. I think I'd probably have to use my finger a little bit for the edges because I don't want that super pigmented color on the edges of my lip lines, but I don't know if you can tell on the camera. Let me try. It's hard to see with this lighting, but it looks as bright as Portrait, but in a little bit of a deeper color, and it's a little bit more purple toned. It almost looks like I was eating like dark cherries and I stained my lips. So I hope you can see that color better. I will do a hand swatch so you can see the differences a little bit, but I will build this up a little bit more. Yeah, that's a really classic berry shade that I made a little bit of a mess out of, but it is very pretty. It is like a pinkish reddish berry toned, so it's not like straight up purple on your lips, but it is pretty bright, and so that's probably how I would wear it. Just nice and sheer. I don't know, I still really like that, but it's definitely not my everyday color. So I'm going to do some hand swatches so that way you can see it not on my pink lips, because not everyone has the same lip color as me. So I'm going to start with Villa, which is the rosy shade. Just do a couple swipes over. That one is definitely my favorite. It reminds me of the Fenty Glow Gloss Bomb, and color-wise, there's no shimmer to it. Next is Trench, which is that caramely, chocolatey brown. It's like the brown sister of Villa. Next is Portrait, which is the pink. I want to say watermelon pink, but there is another one that is described as a watermelon pink. So you can see with just a sheer swatch, it's just like a brighter version of Villa. It's definitely more of a bright pink, and this is more of a muted pink. And then I will just add a little bit more to that swatch. And then last but not least is Vesper. So you can see there, it's still a really beautiful color. I don't have anything like this in eyeshadow, blushes, lip things at all that is that color. So I still think it's really beautiful. So those are all of the colors. I thought I would do quick comparisons for you guys. I don't think I have anything else to say about the formula or the colors. I do really like the formula. Even when I take it off, my lips feel super moisturized and nourished. So I really like that. I'm actually going to switch and put on Villa. That's definitely my favorite of the bunch, and I could see myself using that a ton. So again, these are just really comfortable. I sit at my desk and can wear these almost like a lip balm. Like, they are really hydrating and they don't feel like they're sitting on top of the lips, but they're not like sinking in like a lip oil. They still have that cushion to it, and I really like it. I think if you like the Cosmetics lip cushions, you would like these. They're just like a little bit of a thinner consistency. So I'm going to swatch Cosmetics Venetian Rose. This is the lip cushion next to Villa. So you can kind of see this is definitely more of that like Venetian rose color and a little bit deeper. I'll swatch Magic Hour next to Villa as well. I also like the applicator of the Glossier ones as well, because these are so skinny and the formula is so malleable and soft that they can't twist down. So these have a little bit more like hold to them. Like when you apply them, they're not just gonna melt and they're not gonna move around a ton. So it's a lot easier to get a sheer application. But you can see, I mean, Villa is kind of like a combination of Magic Hour and Venetian Rose. It's just like a rosy neutral. And then I will swatch it next to Coconut from Tower 28, which you guys know is one of my favorites. I think my gloss is actually like a little bit oxidized or something, because I have a new one. I haven't opened it, or otherwise I would swatch it. That looks a little bit more brighter pink, and this one looks almost like a little bit more browny orange. So I don't know how accurate that swatch is, but it's not super similar to Villa. I will swatch Cashew from Tower 28 next to Trench. So that's Cashew and that is Trench. They are definitely similar colors. I think if you like one, you'll like the other. But, I mean, they are technically different. But if you like the color story, you'll like both. I'll also swatch it next to Tower 28 Almond. That's it right there. Cashew is definitely more similar. Almond is just got a little bit more brown to it versus these two have like almost a bit of caramel to it. I will just swatch next to M Cosmetics Magic Hour, but honestly I don't think I have anything super like it, not anything as bright. So you can see the M Cosmetics one, it gets a little bit gloopy because the tube is just not my favorite, but I still love these. But you can see that Portrait is just a little bit more of a brighter pink. And then Vesper, I don't have anything like, but I will swatch it next to Tower 28 Fearless, which is not like it at all. It's also just like a little bit more darker of a purple, and it's a lot more neutral. So those are all the things that I have to compare it to. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said this. I didn't say this, I mean. These are fragrance-free lip products, which is why I bought all 4. I forgot to say that, but if you aren't new here, you guys know that I don't get excited about lip products or really buy new lip products because I have a fragrance sensitivity, not in the sense that my skin will react, but my throat closes up really sensitively to fragrance. That was not a good sentence, but I'm really sensitive to smelling fragrance, and these are 100% fragrance free. I checked with Glossier before I bought them. I don't smell anything, so there's no artificial fragrance, there is no natural fragrance, none at all. So just want to throw that out there for anyone who is also sensitive or just doesn't like scents or doesn't like certain scents. You don't have anything to worry about because they're completely neutral. So anyways, I think that is all I have to say about these. If you have any other questions, be sure to leave them down below and I will answer as best as I can, but I hope this was helpful to you guys in some way. Again, if you are interested in anything from Glossier, but especially these lip products, I have a link down below that will get you 10% off your first order. If you already have an account, you can make a new account or whatever you want to do, but I do really appreciate it. Again, here are some swatches. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!